if you, I just hit the record button. So if you're going to play this as an inverted head and shoulders, it's like, all right, let me decide, is my stop going to be below this, or am I going to allow this to come down to here, right? And do some type of double bottom if that inverted head and shoulder breaks. For me on this particular one, I would say here. Now that we're bouncing, right? You're coming back to your VP according to the document. Um, we need to sell. So 149.50, 150.50, take off half for about $1. What does that give us? 149.50 here, 148.50 here. So if it did come back and put in a double bottom, and we just don't want to play it anymore, like just stop out. You take a small loss, or you could say, you know what, maybe this double bottom is going to hold, and I'm going to buy some more. And if you did do that, what I would tell you is give it a little bit of room. Don't have a hard stop in. Give it a little bit of room to crack this, right? Because we know they use technical analysis to wash people out, and then reclaim it real quickly. So what that means is with sizing, you if you're worried about a 10 cent or 15 cent move, you're too big. Let it do this, and if it does something like that, doesn't always happen, and this is what's so important with sizing. You're probably going to get some type of retest that allows you to get out, but you need to have something down here also that says no matter what I'm out. Like that I'm not gonna wait, and that's what I call the Efron stop loss, right? So maybe we need to put something in there about sizing and you know what I mean. Like I let's see. All right, where is dang, it at 6. So Google trail stopped me out of that play. All right, we got to get in Fubo. I keep missing this. All right, so here's how I'm gonna play Fubo. I'm gonna buy straight shares right now. Now, the reason that I want to do this is twofold. I want to show you how to quote unquote chase correctly. All right. So I'm not in this. I wanted to play it this morning. I missed the open range breakout. I could have got 60 cents. Right. Okay. Well, where's this going to stop? I don't know. But my play is going to be off of 6. So if 6 breaks, I'm going to stop out. I'm going to try to re-hit it around 580 VWAP. Now, whenever you're quote unquote chasing, buying a breakout, whatever you want to call it, what do we want to do? We want to do quick hitters, right? So like if you could take out 10 or 15 cents on a play like this, I would do it. So the other thing that you want to notice on this one is check out the volume, right? This is the highest volume of the day we're distributing, in my opinion. So going flat on that, we may not be, but I'm going flat because of that. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand what I'm saying here? There it is, right? Bam. Now, all those people are trapped. Everybody in this candle is trapped, right? So you've got 6 million people that are trapped. I honestly think buying off of this 6 level, right? Here, I'll give you an example. It's like it's this stuff moves so fast. It's so hard to like that's a dip buy. Let me tell you why. You know the zones within the zones, right? This is that was a value area low of this zone. So now what you do is, okay, you scalp that out. So now we chased, we saw the distribution happening, we got the pullback that we didn't know was going to come, right? We saw it coming, we caught it. Now we got a better cost basis closer to 610. And now we're at the value area high of that zone. So we should take at least half, for me, at least half off, and then decide what do we do now? We decide, hey, do I want to hold this or do I want to hard stop it? Do I want to hold it for overall break even or do I want to stop it at entry? For me, it's a stop at entry because of the distribution that's happening up here. Okay. So literally within the time I was talking and trying to show you guys this, we've gone, we've able to capture out 30 cents, 20 cents of a play. Let's see. Yeah. So it's actually 19 cents of a play. And I got trail stopped out the others. Right. So now it's like, all right, man, there's a lot of distribution. There's a lot going on up here. Great. We're playing this zone. You could still play this as a breakout. Still. Like, when's it going to stop? I don't know. As long as it's above these people, though, I'm good. But if it drops here, here's the big deal. Now we've got this upside down L look forming because of the amount of volume coming in up here. So for the recording, there you go. So Google came in and it's bouncing now. I'm guessing the Qs are bouncing. Yeah. So Qs are bouncing. Hims with an open range break that I missed as well. When I'm teaching, it's just harder to pay attention and grab these things. Yep, Tesla breaking out. Nvidia. So again, this Nvidia trade, right? The idea of saying, hey, let's let it let's let it break lower than here, and maybe we can pick it as a double bottom because we're able to take profits off of this bounce. This is what I'm talking about giving things more room. Now, the problem with this one is it didn't come close enough down here to buy it back, right? To buy back the half that you sold or add the new position. So you would still be at about a half position right here. So here, you guys tell me what could possibly be forming on the intraday chart here on Nvidia, right here, right now. Yeah, yeah, inverted head and shoulders. So let's plan it. Let's play the inverted head and shoulders. All right. Buy at 149.75. Buy at 149.25. That's where I'm going to put my buys. See if we can get. And if we want to play the breakout. So here I'm switching over from Fubo to Nvidia. Um, 149. I'm actually going to go 149.80. I was going to say 149.75. I'm going to go 149.80. And then I'm going to go 149.30. So 5 cents above. Now, ultimately, what we need to have happen here, right, is we need this a little bit of rest on the Qs. Like hit this open print price, let it pull back. Let Google go. So I got my hand on the button to buy Nvidia in case it doesn't come down. There we go. All right. Okay, so filled on the first one. Job taking off. Flying cars, man. That was Go ahead. That was a takeaway from what I saw on the Nvidia CEO was about uh, AI helping cars the most. Like he's like it's not we're waiting for it; it's already here. Yep. Yes, same idea with the hey, if it does come down and do a double bottom, don't have the hard stop in. That's what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Or I mean, you do whatever, but I'm not going to have my hard stop in. I'm going to allow this to come down here, see if it will wick them out, and then go. Oh, absolutely, should help Tesla. Yeah, 100%. Google just going to break that 200, baby. Just without me. So one of the things to understand here on this Google, what I should have done is as I got stopped out, I should have either put in a buy or an alert of some sort to let me know when this is breaking. This should have been a breakout buy. Like if I got stopped out there. The reason I'm willing to stop this out here is because I can just get right back in, and if it breaks out, not a big deal. All right, so Nvidia is we are in Nvidia. So for the shoulder to hold, it's got to hold here. If not, you're going to come down here and hit this level. So for me, again, I give it the double bottom. But again, understand where we are on NVIDIA's pattern. We are at the top. We are playing a. This isn't the A plus plus back to truck up, right? This is a hey, we're playing at the top. We don't know how high it's going to go. Let's keep playing it until it tells us not to. And ultimately, I think what it's going to be decided by is this. Or maybe, NVIDIA being so big, maybe this is going to be decided by NVIDIA. That could easily be the case. Yeah, Meta. What's your play on it? Okay, so real quick, effort. If this bounces back to 149.85, that 149.30 is sold. So if you wanted to say 149.90, 149.95, that's fine. But right, we're somewhere around our first buy area is where we want to sell the second buy. What's your play on Meta? So yesterday's main VP 620 ish, 621 ish here, right? Um, top side, I guess, is 624 of this buy zone. I mean, of this zone flag from yesterday. Okay, so I got rid of half of my 149.30 buy, just half of it. The reason I'm only getting rid of half instead of the whole thing is I'm just not very big on it. Google's continuing to rip. This was our gimme play of the day, and I just screwed it up. There's your 200 break. Okay, now as I look at NVIDIA, does anybody see a pattern that could be possibly forming here? I'm raising my stop now. I'm raising my stop on NVIDIA. We are at the do or die level, 150. This is it. If we reject here and roll over, we're coming back to 148.25 and most likely breaking. And so I don't want to be a part of that. So what I'm going to do is raise my stop and make it. I don't want to be in it below this low right there. So 149 area, right? Now again, why am I like? Remember the rule of taking profits, right? It's like once you take profits, what does that mean? What does the taking of profits mean? What was their news? What was their news, Mel? So I am done with the Nvidia trade. Do you see the pickup in volume and speed? Do you see what happened just there? This is a great example of giving something a shot, understanding what's going like the if thens. It's like, all right, it's done what we wanted it to do. It's came back to this zone. Oh, they're gonna stop censorship? Yeah, I think that's actually good for them. Um, yeah, I miss hymns too. It's so much harder when I'm trying to talk every single detail instead of just telling you what I'm buying and selling. Um, so now on Nvidia, if you wanted to, you could have said, "Hey, let's play this double bottom." I don't want to. It's a downward trending stock, right? You know, if it gets back above this 150 area, then I'll be all about it. But prove it to me, right? Prove it to me. So what could be happening right here on the intraday chart? Well, maybe we're putting in the inverted head and shoulders down here. Maybe we thought this was it, but maybe this is it. And maybe it's going to push back up to 150 and then come back into the level here and hold. Okay, great. We'll watch it. This one is not something like Google. Google was very different. Google was the gimme trade because of where we are, the chart pattern. Now that we're, you know, Google tomorrow will probably be the Nvidia for today. Does that make sense what I'm saying? All right, we got 5 minutes. So data. Cost trying to break. There goes Nvidia. So I think it's very easy to like are you guys understanding what is happening to Nvidia and why? Like I think it's a perfect example of we don't know. We don't know if it's going to keep going. We don't know if it's going to um, you know roll over and die. Who knows? All right, so we gave it a shot, and what's the number one rule? We got to stay safe, right? So could we have swapped short there? Absolutely. So when one way isn't working, you can try the other way. And then if that way's not working, right? If you get stopped out, if you keep getting wicked out, going long and going short, then it's just chopping. But if you're trying to catch a trend for the day, flip. We saw the reject happening. We saw the breakdown. Bam, $2 in 1 minute. Beauty. Okay, so let's go over Nvidia real quick about newbie longs, right? Um, what what do what happens? What did you guys? Or at least I did. I'll say what do a lot of newbie traders, including myself, when I was a newbie, do? Well, it's like, man, Nvidia. I could have bought Nvidia when it was down here at this 129. I wanted to, I didn't. I wanted to buy it here. I wanted to buy it here. I didn't. And, oh man, it's breaking all time high. I got to buy it now. And then they chase this all time high breakout 152.89, right? 153.13. So what are the market makers doing on this candle? Literally on the daily, they're using technical analysis to do what? What is the second sentence in our note? Second sentence in our note is the main thing I've noticed about technical analysis is that the market makers use technical analysis to take your money. Whenever there's a breakout, people chase, people buy breakouts, people Momo chasers, algos, all of it. They use that liquidity to dump. All right, we got 30 minutes of play here. Let's see if we can find any chart patterns. My speaker broke up. What did Charlie say? Was the data good or bad on the ISM? Looks like it was bad, but it was selling off long before this. Look at that sell off. Jolts is strong. Yeah. And if anybody's hurting, I apologize, but I don't know if there's a better feeling than taking all your money, right, and running for the hills just to see the market pull back. It's like, all right, now's the time. Come back, come back, baby. Pull back. Let's see. ISM services 54, so it's higher. Jolts job openings were higher. Um, I kind of like that actually. Look at this sell off. Woo! Just like that. AVGO taking the weekly down. Man, I would love to short this. I'm not going to just because of the distance we've traveled so far on the QQQ and the SPY. We could get another leg down, and if we do get another leg down on the QQQ and the SPY, I would try to bounce it. It may just bounce from here, but I want another leg down. let's go back to Fubo. Okay, so five. You guys remember the 560 level on Fubo? We've got this upside down here. I'm taking a picture of it. We've got this upside down L. I think this would be good for documenting. Um, for this to get above, for Fubo to get above 610, right? One of two things has to happen, and I'm drawing something right now. You're going to have to get some consolidation within these. I'm writing con here, consolidation within this area, or you're going to have to turn this into a inverted head and shoulders and fight back into the higher zone above. So if you look at that, what's going to have to happen here is think of the justice scale, right? You want to balance out, and to do that, then between 540 and 560 here is going to have to that VP zone is going to have to pop out, right? Have to get some legs on it to make it even be able to compete. Think of it as two sumo wrestlers going at it, right? If one weighs 1,000 and one weighs 100, the 1,000's smashing them. So, point being is, I don't want to touch this Fubo unless one of two things happens. If it gets back up into that 590, range up to 610, it's like, oh, okay, well, now you're back into that zone. Maybe it's a failed breakdown. Or we got to have legs that allow us to push us, that are going to give us the strength to push us back up and into that sixth zone. That sumo wrestler is going to have to gain some weight. That would be huge. All right, if you guys think the market will bounce, I think Google is your buy. Right off the top side of this flag. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, how do I add this into? How do I add this into the document? Like, you got a nice little flag. It broke up. Now you're retesting this flag, right? So you're bouncing Tesla. I'm gonna bounce Google. We'll see. See if we can get a little bounce here. Yeah, yeah. So I'm playing Google in the larger. I'm playing my larger account today. I'm playing Google shares, and again, this is charting 101. We've broken out. We are retesting. So here, it's going to be easier to see on E-Trade, but what we are betting is that somewhere in that box we're going to get a bounce. Well, why? Well, if we look at it, you've got enough people there that should at least allow a bounce. So maybe it doesn't bounce at 198.50 or 198. Let's see. Yeah, so I think it'll bounce somewhere between 198 and 198.50. I think it'll give us a little bounce off that level. That's your kind of your point of control of that zone of that box. And then this value area low is about 198.60, 65. And if you don't bounce at that 198, I think you'll bounce there. So the way that this works is, let's try to bounce Google. Let's put in another order at 198. I'm going to put mine in at 198.09. So, man, I don't know how much. I don't know if this is too much. So, like right here on Google, is it's actually a sell. Anybody tell me why? Why would this be a sell? Of course, it's VP. This is literally VP. This is like look at that picture that I just showed you. Right. That's like the bottom side of that. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? So like when you're trying again, it's we're very myopic today. We're like playing really tight. But what just happened is you bounced off of the value area high of this box and you're starting to come into the value area low of this area. Does that make sense? I hope it actually rolls over and dies one more time. I hope the markets do too. Like just give us one more leg down. Look, the spy's doing it. Come on, Q's, you can do it too. So for those of us that are like, hey, let's just make a lot of money. Today's a little bit different for me because it's more about teaching that document. Um, Maybe I can find a for not just anybody that's trying to make money by what I'm saying, but also for me. I got to find a better way to play how I normally play with the multiple charts and still teach. I think it's just by me putting in orders instead of expecting myself to catch it by sight. Yesterday we made a document. There's a Edges documentation channel that Ryan added, and what we're doing is what we're doing is every couple weeks we're going to do a new edge, and we're going to create the documentation with the rules so that everybody can add this trade to their add this edge to their playbook and adjust it however they want. All right, Q's just broke lows. Unfortunately, Google did not come down. Um, I think we're getting close to a bounce on the indexes. Like a pull to 592 would be ideal, but I don't know if it'll get down there. Pull back one more time. Pull back one more time, Google. Come on. You stopped out of Tesla. Let's see what Tesla's doing. You know, Tom, I'd appreciate it if you could make Tesla roll over and break this low and come down to this 350 area. That would be that would be much appreciated. So, from a charting perspective, like bouncing Amazon right here, I think is a great idea. Um, can anybody like I don't know if it's visible for you guys, but like trying to quantify it the best I can. So does anybody see a particular chart pattern that I mentioned on that document right here in Amazon, what I have pulled up. Can you see it if it does that? What what can we call that? Yeah. So the again, the important thing is always VP, right? So when we come in here and we look at Amazon, where's the bulk of this VP from these people, right? Right here. Well, the top side where we think it should hold is here. So if you like, see how I'm just scrolling backwards and I see that this is the top side of this. It's like, all right, this is a major VP level at gap close. What's behind it? Okay, okay, we do got a nice little base that happened here. Okay, quick drop down, quick pop back up, cup and handle, bam, like it's immediate. And you're playing now between these VPs. You've got this VP and this VP, right? These two. This is the cup side, top of the cup, right? This is your top side of this particular cup. Like this is a cup and handle within a cup and handle, right? So this VP is now going to bounce against this VP, and then if we can break this VP, it's you're just rinse and repeating, right? Okay, new zone, right? Okay, well it's going to be that VP. So then the cup and handle is going to go if it bounces, right? And it comes back up, it's going to come here, and then it's going to buy here. That's going to come here, and that's a buy, right? And so you're just like this is what I'm talking about just continually adding to it on the way up. Like you just continue this process throughout until it breaks. Still no buying as of yet. Nvidia. Similar idea on Nvidia, right? So cup, right? Point 1 2 1 2. Cup 1 2 1 2. Is it going to hold this upper VP? This would be the spot to play that. So same idea. You could actually do the exact same thing on Nvidia that you're doing on Amazon. Are like are these I don't know, they like jump off the screen to me. And I don't know the best way to get them to jump off the screen for you guys besides drawing them out, like like what I did on Amazon. Yeah, yeah, just rinse and repeat. And again, what do you guys think I see first? Do you guys think I see the pattern or the VP? So, to be honest with you, it sometimes it's different. Like sometimes it's like there's the VP, and sometimes it's like there's the pattern. Yeah, it's funny because the the things that I see the VP on, I see certain charts first. Like I'll see an ascending triangle usually first before I see VP. But on a head and shoulders or an inverted head and shoulders, I'll see VP usually beforehand. So I got added on Google again, right? This 198 ad. I think we're going to get a decent bounce, like maybe back up to 198.75 to 199. And what chart pattern could that be on this side? Well, that's your inverted head and shoulders. If it does push up to here, boom, down here. Okay, well, what if it doesn't push up to right here? What if it just does this and then rolls over to the value area low of 198.75? Well, okay, what could be W pattern off of these double bottoms, right? Could be maybe this is the head of the inverted head and shoulders. Let's see, check. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Everybody's trapped today, like because everybody was chasing today, right? But no, this looks great. This pattern looks great. This candle's ugly, right? But I think the pattern looks wonderful. We didn't crack all time. We didn't crack highs here, so I think we're still good within this pattern to play it. Okay, I added my last Google right here, so we're kind of at the do or die moment for me. Ah, Fubo, let's check that one out. Yeah, that looks nice. So the goal here is to take this from value area low to where? Right here. Like literally, we got the bounce. So take that low buy off that that 1/3, of that low buy off. Take your 50 cents off that buy. So now your 2/3 buy, the one at point of control and the ones at value area high, now have a stop out where? Low of day. Boom. Okay. Again, taking the point of control buy now, which was 198, and I'm selling half of that on Google. Sorry, I had the wrong one up there. Now, we are literally bouncing against these people. So, does everybody understand why I was so confident that we were going to get a bounce in this box? We did it. It's done it. It's done its job, right? Okay, great. Are we going to come back up here and rip all time new highs? I have no idea. Are we going to roll over? I don't know. The only thing that I care about is that this box area was going to give me an opportunity to dig a ditch, to see if I can get into a stock that is strong, beautiful trend on the daily, everything, great comment. Well, all the reasons of why you're playing this particular company. Now, is the market going to be weak today? It could. And shoot, if it does, we're going to do it again on Google at a lower cost basis. And we'll try it again. And this you do this over and over and over. So now Google has turned into, all right, this thing, I'm not going to take a big loss on this. Um, I'm going to put, I took 50 cents out of that buy, so 198, and then does that cost basis, and then I took half of the 198 off. Yeah, so it would be a small loss if I get stopped out at low a day. I'm not going to. I think I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to put in a sell order right here underneath VWAP for the second half of the point of control buy from these people. And what is that going to do for me? So I took, about 50 cents off of a third position. I'm taking about ultimately, which what will be about 50 cents off of another 2/3 position. That gives me $1 on my 1/3 position, which was bought at 198.50 ish. 197.50 ish is your break even. Oh, free trade. Boom. Rinse, rinse and repeat. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, wow. So, does anybody root for like a losing team all the time? Like, for example, I always root for the underdog. So when I went to Alabama, I was an Auburn fan because I want the underdog to win. All right, I got filled on that other Google here, right? Yeah, right. Always losing, right? It sucks to be on that side. It's like, oh, yeah. You begin to expect to lose, right? It's like, oh, we could make the playoffs. We got one game left. Yeah, we're gonna screw it up. Oh, like we expect to lose. And think about that in trading, right? I don't want to be on that side in trading because I don't want to lose money. This is do or die now for Google, right? So I want to show you something on Google. Here, let's see if I can do something real quick. Okay, can you guys would Fubo be would Fubo be better 594 level? Let me check. Can you guys see the difference in the VPs on that Google? Right? Do you guys think? Do you guys think we've got the legs? Like which sumo wrestler has the better, advantage? All right, so let's see, 1023, 594. So on Fubo, for me, the buy would have been it's one of two things on Fubo. It's the 10, 15, 16, 17 area where you're putting in here. This is another good one that we could go through. Yeah, the one on the right's got some legs now, right? It's like, oh man, we got legs. We could really run this guy out of the ring. We could. We could, flatten them out or whatever they do in sumo wrestling. Who knows? But if we break, what do you think is going to happen? If we break up from that point of control, what do you think is going to happen? We're going to go to the very next second longest line, which is up near the top, right? That's where we're going. So here, let me show you Fubo. So this is what I'm talking about when I say a failed breakdown creates inverted head shoulder, and that's your buy. So here, let me put this for the recording. So Wags, look at this chart that I'm putting in there. So what happened on Fubo literally is you created a zone. And you remember what I said about one of two things has to happen for me to get interested in these things? So you've got a zone here on Fubo. And you got to break below it. And so if I'm looking at Fubo, I need that lower zone to fatten out. Well, let's look and see if it did. It did fatten out a little bit, right? Google stop for me is low of day. I'm sorry. This low right here. Now, if you think the market's going to roll and you want to get out, great, go for it. But I don't know that. I don't know that the market's going to roll or whatever. So I'm still giving this a shot. If the market decides to bounce today, great. Google's the one I want to be in. But this is my safety. The trade's done, right? We did it. We did exactly what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it. Now, whatever it does, it does. Okay, so on Fubo, right, after it created that little bitty poke out, what was it able to do? Well, shoot, it just got right back into its zone. Well, if it gets to the point of control of that upper zone, which is $6, right? It's $5.90 to $6. You're probably going to reject there, and that's going to give you the opportunity for the inverted head and shoulders. Does that make sense, Wax? So that's a good example of a failed breakout. So the reason I'm not buying Fubo right here, like Fubo broke the trend line, I just don't know if the market's going to hold. Like I'm so light in my portfolio, I sold everything. We're literally this is how you play at top sides. Like a lot of times, what happens with the newer traders is you begin to chase and acquire. So I'm out of Google. You begin to chase and acquire at tops instead of at bottoms. And what I mean by that is why are we chasing and buying up here versus buying down here? Opinion follows price. That's why. And so my personal opinion is I think we need some shakeout consolidation, maybe today. Maybe today's enough, right? And towards the end of the day we go. But that's just kind of my feeling. And one of the reasons I wanted to play Fubo was because this one actually could diverge as well. But I'm gonna take a break here. stop this recording. Does anybody have any questions about what we've done? Does anybody have any comments? Anything that you guys can think of that we need to add to the document? I Go ahead. Okay. What's that? What's the question? Yep. Yep. Yes, 100%. So, literally, to put it in my terminology, circle on the left is a zone. So, you've got a value area high, value area low, and a point of control within that zone. Well, you bounced into that zone and you rejected basically the value area low because people were so quick to get out, right? Boom. Well, I'm out, break even, great. Let's go. Let's do it. Um, if it would have been able to push up to, point of control, value area high, it's like, okay, now we're back within that zone. And if that happens, if it pushes to value area high, what does that mean for the circle on the left? No, 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 no. Think of it just like we're thinking. No, no, no. Everybody on the left now is what? Yeah, that's it. It's that simple. Because those that were going to stop out have already stopped out to get out at break even, right? Like it's yeah. If it goes back to the value area high of whatever zone. So if you go to value area high of that zone, everybody that was going to stop out has stopped out, right? Now, did the demand and supply meet, and it can still stay in that area? Okay, well, great. Well, if it can, and everybody's happy, yeah, then I'm worth. It's well, then maybe I want to give it a shot. But I don't want to be in the group of people where everybody's pissed off and sad and quick to close out their trade and sell. Yeah. So remember on the double bottom. Whenever I tell you if the double bottom is gonna is gonna go or not gonna go, then what pattern usually forms if the double bottom is going to fail and begin to break down? Yeah, and it's literally on your chart. It's right there. That's But what pattern is that? Like what pattern did we just went over it with here for the recording? I'll put this up. We It's literally a pattern that we went over yesterday. It's in our pattern page. I know you didn't see that, but what this is basically it's not picture perfect, but it's basically a descending triangle. So if you were to draw a trend line from that left circle top side down to that right circle top side and continue going down, and then your lower area is the double bottom you were playing. Well, it failed to clear the zone within what would be the your left circle, which is that midpoint of the W. So for the W to turn into a W, what do you got to do? Well, that midpoint of the W, you got to make all those people happy. If you don't, it usually rejects there, right? Which is what happened. And then that's going to be your third hit on the low, which is your descending triangle. And so being able to see that and get out right there, absolutely, 100%. It's weak. It's if this breaks down, it's going to come down and hit it for the third time and get it. You're going to get out. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Because that's what literally drives the market. It's all emotion. Yep. Yeah, 100%. So like Google, man, I would have loved for Google to bounce from our 198 back to 201, take out $3, right? That'd be wonderful. We took a shot at it. It didn't work. All right, small win, small loss, whatever it is, chump change, whatever way it is. But the next step to that, Zach, is okay. Well, what? Where's the next level? I'm gonna try this because I want to try to get on Google. Man, I'd like to hold it from 192. I tell you that. Okay, what pattern could be setting up? Hmm. What pattern could be possibly forming on Google? What does that look like? Oh man, shoot! If this rejects, I would love a pullback to 190 for sure. I'd probably start getting in around 192 actually. Play this ascending triangle on the daily chart. I'd much rather take it from 192 to 200 than 198 to 200. You know what I mean? Like instead of seeing it as a negative, yeah, yeah. So like if it did break here, so that's there's two things that you could be saying. So I'm gonna answer both. If it did make a higher high comparative to here, I would be less excited about it. I mean, it could still work, but it's like ah. Now it did make a higher high comparative to this one, right? And that's what's creating the ascending triangle, right? So higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. Hopefully on this next pullback. Okay, we'll see you, low. No, no, no. Like, yeah. So mine is that broadening pattern. I don't play the broadening pattern. Okay, good stuff, guys. This morning. Does anybody have any questions before I stop the recording? And welcome back, Zach. Glad to have you, brother.